start. So hello everyone, welcome to Teachers Pets very first online CPD session. I can't believe we've never done one of these before. It's absolutely fantastic as well to have so many of you with us this afternoon. It's really encouraging, so thank you ever so much for showing up. My name's Christina and I am the co-founder of Teachers Pets. So this afternoon, our panellists, Lucy and Charlotte, will be talking all about the reception maths gap and how to close it. So we anticipate this session lasting around 30 to 45 minutes with a Q&A included. As this is our very first session, we do appreciate you bearing with us if we do experience any technical issues. We have tested the Zoom software quite a bit, but tech, always unpredictable, as I'm sure you all know. So yeah, if anything does go awry, just bear with us. This is something that we definitely want to do more of in the future as well. So if you do have any requests for future CPD that you'd like to see, then do let us know. Your feedback really helps to shape what we do in the future as well. So if you have any feedback about today's session, you can get in touch. You can email us feedback@tpet.co.uk, or just jump on the website, have a chat with Michael on the live chat. Be more than happy to speak to you during the day, or you can pop us a support ticket. So yeah, any suggestions for CPD that you'd like to see in the future and any feedback about today's CPD would be great as well. Thank you. So as I mentioned earlier, Charlotte and Lucy are going to be running this afternoon's CPD session. So Charlotte is an early years practitioner with over 15 years experience in an early years setting. Her passions really lie in purposeful play invitations for children that enable them to become confident and independent learners. And Charlotte has 8 years experience as an early years lead and reception teacher, and having worked previously for several years in Key Stage 1 as well. So Charlotte is committed to fostering active learning environments led through engaging stories, which is really important for today. And her passion really lies in creating awe and wonder for the children, and that's really paramount in her classroom. So I've had the absolute privilege of working with Lucy and Charlotte quite closely for over the last 12 months, as they've been helping really hands-on to improve Teachers Pets early years maths offering to our teaching community. So I'm really thrilled to have them talk to you today. I'm quite excited for this. So if you do have any questions during the CPD, somewhere around here, you should see a Q&A box. So please use the Q&A box to ask any questions. And Charlotte and Lucy, they'll either answer those as they go, or they might save them all to the end of the CPD and answer them at the end. The CPD is also being recorded, so if you want to watch it afterwards, you'll be able to do that, or feel free to share it with any members of staff that have been unable to attend today that wanted to be a part of the conversation. You'll also be able to download today's PowerPoint, and that's got all the useful links in it and things like that that you'll need. So that's everything from me. I'm now going to hand you over to Charlotte and Lucy, and enjoy the CPD, everyone.
Thanks, Christina. So I'm going to start us off today and begin the presentation with looking at maths nowadays and some of the issues that might occur and some of that research that's guiding us in how our practice should be shaped. Then we'll be demonstrating how the different elements of Maths Foundation Early Years can help you to deliver an effective maths curriculum to your children. So reception lays the foundations for the success for a child's mathematical journey. We know that those first few years of a child's life are especially important for mathematical development. Research has shown us that early mathematical knowledge predicts later reading ability and general education and social progress. Children who start behind in mathematics tend to stay behind throughout their whole educational journey. And obviously, we want to get them off to the right start and hit the ground running with an enjoyment and an understanding of maths. Following the early years framework in the educational programme for mathematics, it states developing a strong grounding in number is essential so that all children develop the necessary building blocks to excel mathematically. And many elements can affect those early gaps that can appear. We know cohorts have a large range of starting points with varied experiences and need before they even start school. Limited opportunities to engage with those mathematical concepts and resources, and that developing of understanding of patterns and connections can make that step into reception mathematics more tricky, as this is the foundations for recall of the counting system and also grasping number operations. It is also a vital foundation for later mathematical thinking and reasoning. We all know those children who come to mind that need to be able to physically move, stack, sort, post, turn resources, and this is all really vital skills to build future mathematics understanding. So using the Concrete-Pictorial-Abstract approach to teaching maths gives children the opportunity to apply those skills whilst also allowing those children who are showing gaps to get those early maths explorations in the reception year that they may not have had preschool. The Tuff Tray style of activity, which we'll talk to you about later on, shows you manipulatives that can be accessible for children and that exploration to take place. Now we're going to move on to talking about the importance of language, which is another hot topic in the early years sector. An additional element that is so key to that early mathematical understanding is language. And this was considered really closely when we were planning our units. Many children may have had less rich experiences of language at home, such as having conversations around the dinner table, going for technology-free walks, or that exploration of play. And therefore they start school at a disadvantage due to lack of exposure. Jeff Barton, who is the chair of the Oracy Education Commission, is championing the importance of that spoken language and communication in every classroom and in all subjects, but especially mathematics. He believes that Oracy is one of the ways that we can tackle that disadvantage attainment gap, and it is a theme in many of his reports too. On a recent podcast, he stated Oracy isn't separate from maths, it fundamentally underpins it. And the stories and the resources that you will see today allow so much opportunity for that extended discussion of mathematical ideas. Our stories and supporting resources help children articulate how they've approached things, justify their answers, and make them better mathematicians. So we know we don't want to get hung up on data these days and focus really on the progress the children can make in a year and that enjoyment, but it's worthwhile noting our awareness of current trends and comparisons over time. So you can see on the slide here, we've got some data from the last 3 years of children at the expected level. And once children fall behind, it is hard for them to catch up and they are likely to fall further behind as they move through school. So when looking at this last 3 years of data, the percentage of children at the expected level, along with literacy, maths is one of the lowest. Both literacy and maths are specific areas of learning, and these are crucial as they determine a good level of development at the end of reception year. And this shows how children commonly struggle across the country in those two areas. And it's worth paying attention to those early maths experiences, fostering how this builds into future attainment. Therefore, our blocks will provide teachers with a bank of lessons that promote those key skills within mathematics, alongside fostering that love of books and early reading behaviours that are so vital for our youngest learners. Therefore, hitting those 2 key areas that we've just talked about in the data. This will hopefully positively impact the number of children at expected level in maths at the end of the year and reduce that demand for future interventions in future year groups. Surely that's what every school is striving for. And how can this help with the transition to year 1? Well, when we're looking at those 4 key components of mathematical experiences, we have symbols, pictures, language, and concrete materials interlinked. And a good understanding of all of these areas enables children to be ready to take that next step in their learning journey. Children need to be secure in their foundational maths knowledge with the ability to manipulate this and apply it to future learning. For example, when they're learning about number bonds to 5 in reception, they use this knowledge to apply it and extend it, moving on to number bonds to 10 and further within year 1. Alongside this, ensuring that love of learning, which at Teacher's Pet is what we're all so passionate about, within maths is so important to motivate and engage that future attainment. So now I'm going to talk through how the blocks are set up to enable you to have a better understanding of how it's going to support you in your classroom. So the materials are built around original storybooks, purposeful Tuff Tray ideas, and playful activities, which are fully aligned with the Early Years Framework and White Rose Maths. These resources collectively provide a platform for everything children will encounter as they progress through their EYFS maths learning and the White Rose Maths scheme. It's also worth noting here that the units fit seamlessly with whichever scheme you use in your school. If you are a Mastery of Mathematics school, these units will still support the learning of the children through the Early Years Framework. This will ensure that all the children develop firm mathematical foundations in a way that is engaging and appropriate for their age range, whilst promoting that discussion and that reasoning development, allowing children to flourish. Alongside this, we also have a bonus edition, which is our Getting to Know You rhymes. The planning and activities are based on number rhymes, and we felt these are appropriate and easy to introduce during those first few weeks within reception when you are getting to know your class. We appreciate in this time the most important use of your time is playing and finding out about your children. Therefore, these activities gather the children's knowledge and understanding of maths and have a focus on one or all of the prime areas of learning. Also included within this is activities that can be done in the outdoor area so that you're really promoting the children to explore all areas of your classroom and you can get to know them really, really well. They are based on short, engaging rhymes that we have selected carefully to give teachers insight into the children's knowledge and abilities, whilst not being onerous, formal tasks, which obviously is the last thing we want to be doing during those first few weeks. Communication and language, physical and personal, social and emotional checkpoints linked to these activities so teachers can reflect on their observations and make those informal baseline assessments. Here you can see on the slide an overview of our upcoming books. And as Christina said before, me and Lucy have worked within the early years sector and we have tapped into events and topics that arise throughout the year. So for example, in block 3, It's Me 123, you can see here week 7 and week 8, we have based our stories around those typical themes, harvest and Halloween, that happen around that time of year. And that enables you to synchronise and make meaningful links to your current curriculum. Now I'm going to hand you over to Lucy, who's going to take you through those different elements that make up Maths Foundations Early Years.
Oh, thanks so much, Charlotte. Now I have the absolute pleasure of telling you more about our Maths Foundations Early Years product. And we thought a great place to start would be prior learning. All of the stories have been planned with prior learning in mind. Within the first page of our storybooks, as you can see here, there is a section highlighting prior learning to remind us as practitioners what knowledge children have previously been exposed to. And with the help of Charlotte, I am now going to show you our prior learning slides. I'm hoping
it popped up.
Just give it a minute. I think not quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't quite see them, Charlotte. I don't know if that's...
I think the prior learning slides are sharing now.
Oh, they're sharing now, lovely. Okay, that's wonderful. So we suggest our prior learning slides are used before introducing the story. This will help children to make connections and build on what they already know and enable sticky learning to happen. For example, in the match, sort and compare unit, which you can see here, children need to notice how things are the same, such as the same colours or features, if they're spiky or curvy. This will then enable them to be successful in their matching. So why stories? Thank you so much, Charlotte. I'll just flip back and hopefully share my screen. Okay, so why stories? Stories are the hook for the best learning to take place. And one of our first stories, Sniffles and the Autumn Crown, is available now for you to download for free. Here it is, and it is brilliant. And as you can see, the books are beautifully illustrated, and they have characters that your children will fall in love with, as well as intrinsically teaching those mathematical concepts. Our stories could also enhance other areas of provision in your classroom, such as your small world area or your role play area. For example, in this story, you could create your very own autumn ball where the children can create their own music, come up with different dances, and write shopping lists with the autumn ball supplies. I wonder what other areas in your classroom you could think of that these stories could impact and other learning opportunities that they could provide. Research has also supported a story-based approach. This quote from the Education Endowment Foundation reinforces the power of using stories in maths learning. Using storybooks to teach mathematics can be particularly effective through providing an opportunity for mathematical talk and questioning. Much of this evidence comes from studies where practitioners were explicitly supported in promoting mathematical discussion from the story. For example, by being provided with note cards displaying prompting questions and discussion points that they could use. Practitioners should therefore plan how they will use storybook resources to discuss mathematical concepts. Teacher's Pet has done all of this for you. Each book comes with teacher notes and provides key questions and sentence stems to use with the children, as well as any additional notes or maths teaching points, such as possibilities to dig deeper. There are 1 or 2 texts per block to reduce cognitive load, and each story encompasses most or all of the steps within a White Rose Maths block. In the Education Endowment Foundation report, it states that maths needs to be explored firstly through different contexts, such as storybooks, puzzles, songs, rhymes, puppet play, and games. Secondly, by seizing chances to reinforce mathematical vocabulary. And thirdly, by creating opportunities for extended discussion of mathematical ideas with children. Our stories and resources incorporate all of these bullet points. They embed vocabulary, which is highlighted on the first page of every storybook. Vocabulary was such an important part to us as we know ourselves and from research that it enables purposeful opportunities for discussion, vocabulary expansion, and reasoning conversations to take place within maths learning. Additionally, there's also a catchy rhyme or song in every story to enable that sticky learning to happen. Our Tuff Trays will create opportunities for extended discussion of mathematical ideas with individuals or small groups of children in order to extend their thinking, which is where our key questions can support practitioners to really focus in on knowing what children know. We suggest that Tuff Trays are to be available within provision all week to give time for children to revisit and deepen their knowledge. giving them the option to dig deeper and challenge their thinking. Within each Tuff Tray experience, there are manipulatives, which are powerful tools for supporting young children to engage with ideas across many areas of mathematics. They will help children make sense of the mathematical concepts taught through our stories, increase engagement and enjoyment, and help us as practitioners see what children understand, alongside giving them opportunity to familiarise and enjoy character play, which will positively impact on the other prime areas of learning. This is echoed in the Education Endowment Foundation guidance, where it states, children benefit from practical first-hand experiences of moving and interacting with manipulatives to develop mathematical ideas. It is important that children have opportunities to engage in both free and structured play with manipulatives. The plan details how you can add resources that are real to take this learning even further and give children that opportunity to develop the concrete, abstract, pictorial elements we discussed earlier. Now here's a lovely example of one of our Tuff Trays set up. This particular Tuff Tray facilitates the teaching of matching and sorting, relating to the story of Sniffles and the Autumn Crown. As you can see, our teachers' pet printed resources are provided, and the Tuff Tray also contains real manipulatives. Although we provide printed resources such as the leaves, we would encourage you to always add real concrete objects to take learning to the next level. For example, how fantastic would it be to go and collect different leaves with the children so that they can put them into the Tuff Tray and have some ownership in their learning? As already mentioned, as you can see in the photo, our gorgeous characters are there, which promote character play and further develop communication and language skills. Working with and engaging parents is a key principle in the EYFS framework, and we know as practitioners plays an important part in a child's education. What happens at home is crucial. We know that levels of parental engagement are consistently associated with children's academic outcomes. Schools and parents have a shared priority to deliver the best outcomes for their children. For young children, promoting home learning activities such as playing maths games are linked to improved outcomes. This is also backed up by the guidance from the Education Endowment Foundation, who state that games can be an engaging way to practice and extend skills. They can build on children's mathematics knowledge, generate repeated practice in a motivating context. Tips, support and resources can make home activities more effective. This is why Teacher's Pet has created a game or activity that can be carried out at home, with guidance to embed and revisit the learning that has happened in the classroom that week. From both working in the classroom, anything to get the parents engaged is a bonus, and as practitioners we are so strapped for time to produce this. We thought it would be a nice addition to our Maths Foundation's early years product. So, what can you do now? If you haven't already, please take a look at our Week 1 Maths Foundation's early years, which you can download now for free. Your feedback is vital to us and we want to know what you think. This helps shape our future products and we are always reviewing and improving from the feedback we receive. So start to deliver maths in a whole new way and get to know all of these lovely characters on your journey. We're just going to pop up this slide with useful links on. These will be emailed out to you for your reference. Also, I know you have so much extra time as teachers and especially in the busyness of the summer term, but there is an option to do a reception maths audit, which was created by the Education Endowment Foundation. I hope you find it useful. Whilst you're having a look over this slide, we are going to open up the forum for any questions. Please type these in the Q&A box below and we'll answer them as best we can. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lucy and Charlotte. That was fabulous. I'm not seeing any questions in the Q&A box at the moment, so I'm assuming nobody has any questions, but I'll just give it a couple of minutes. But feel free to... Oh, okay. Helen's just said, I'm so glad it aligns with White Rose. Thank you. Yeah, we learned this the hard way, being completely honest. Years and years ago, we started up a product called Think Maths, which initially was just for years 1 to 6, but we did have intentions of rolling that out to early years, but we tried to do our own thing, and the first initial feedback that we got from the majority of people is, this is fantastic, but we really need it to align with White Rose Maths. So yeah, I was determined that when we brought it back and we brought it under Maths Foundations, that everything that we did would, it aligns with White Rose Maths, but as Lucy and Charlotte have both said, whether you are just following the curriculum on your own or using another scheme, all the content is there to be used. So yeah, it was really important that we did that this time. So we have a question from Lisa. I work in an international school with many ESL children. Would this be useful in your opinion? Lucy and Charlotte, I'll let you answer that and see what you think, if there is a use for children, ESL children.
So I think because there's such a language focus within the units and even in the books, it helps to teach those children some of the language that they might need to be able to understand the mathematical concepts. Don't know if Lucy's got anything she wants to add.
Yeah, I think with all the the manipulatives as well, like the Tuff Trays, they can physically move resources and stuff as well. So I feel like all of that's going to really help embed that mathematical knowledge and allow children that playful element where they can play with all those mathematical concepts too.
Fabulous. Anna has asked, how soon before teaching a unit will it become available? I guess this would be a question that would be high up on everybody's list. So at the moment, we have week 3 available, and all the content for autumn will be available by the first week of August. So we've got some weeks will go up on the 11th of July for autumn, and the rest of the content will be up by the first week of August. We'll then begin the process of getting the content ready for the spring term, which will start getting online between January and April, and January and March, and then the summer content will start to go on between trying to get my months right here, so the end of March and May. So basically you will have everything as and when you need it. Again, really important for us to just keep it ahead of you guys as much as we physically can, because we know that you need that time to prepare with the content. So I hope that answers your question, Anna.
There's just another question that someone's popped in the chat, and it says, will there be an option to buy printed copies of the stories?
Oh, my favourite question so far.
Yeah, definitely. So at the moment, we have the flip books available so that you can have them up on the interactive whiteboard. Parents, if you wanted to, could have a look at the free one at home. You could have a look at it with the children on iPads if you wanted to work in small groups or one-on-one. I would absolutely love to get printed copies of these, and it is our full intention to do that. As I'm sure you can appreciate, for a small business, that's going to be a massive financial investment for us, and I am very, very keen to do that. We just need to know that people are behind this. So basically, the power of that is in your hands, really, I guess. The more people you share this with, the more early years practitioners you let know about this, other schools in the area, the more people we get interacting with this, and we can see that, yes, if we spend the money and get printed copies that they will sell and not be gathering dust on bookshelves, because honestly, yeah, I think it would be absolutely wonderful to do that. So it is definitely high on our priority list. As I say, the power of that is in your hands, I guess, now. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Amanda. Is that everybody's? Emma, I just wanted to say that this seems so thought out and considers so many elements of the EYFS, such as the language and parental side. Yeah, I'll let Lucy and Charlotte respond to that one.
Yeah,
I think, sorry, go on, Lucy.
Oh, you go. Are you sure? So I think obviously communication language was such a key thread when we were planning the stories and thinking about the content that we wanted to create. We know it's one of those prime areas of learning. And we know obviously from all the research as well that language is really key. And the parental side, we are so strapped for time, aren't we, as teachers, to try and create these things. And I think there's so much for phonics and literacy, but there's not so much out there for maths. So we thought, this is missing. What can we do to kind of plug that gap? So it's perfect.
Yeah, and just to add, the parent activities that we've planned obviously link directly to what the children have done within the class. So they will have had that prior learning to help with engagement at home, because obviously parents need that support sometimes with how to deliver an activity. And the crib sheet gives them all of the questions to ask, the sentences to be using, and what the outcomes need to be from the activity. And hopefully, therefore, makes the teachers' job of preparing the activity easier, because it's all there and ready for you to just print and go, and that will hopefully save everyone time.
We thought another element with the parental side is if you are a homeschool learner, that's a really nice option to use those as well. Obviously the Tuff Tray resources are great too, but then I think that option to do the game or activities and also a really nice enhancement really for that.
Thank you, Lucy and Charlotte. I think that's everyone. If you do have any further questions, you can always reach out to us on social media or via our website. We've got our support ticket system on there, or you can have a chat with Michael. I know he'd love to speak to you about Maths Foundations early years as well. So yeah, if you do have any further questions or feedback, like I mentioned before, then please do reach out. But yeah, I just want to say a massive, massive thank you firstly to Lucy and Charlotte. I know they were a little bit nervous today, as was I, to be honest. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that, and I hope you guys have as well. You will have access to the recording, as I mentioned earlier, and you'll have access to the PowerPoint that's been shared today. Please get on the website, get downloading. It's totally free at the moment for that week. So if you don't have a membership at the moment, it doesn't matter. You can still access the content. So go and check it out for yourself, see what you think, and please get in touch. If you do have any feedback, good or bad, we want to hear it all and make this as perfect as it can be for early years practitioners. So thank you very much, everybody. And we hope to see you again at another CPD event very soon. Take care. Bye.